Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Um, and thank you for joining us for the first session of the SEACAR Report 2.0 webinar series. This webinar is hosted by the Southeast Asia Climate Adaptation and Resilience Alliance, also known as SEACAR Alliance, a collaboration between Boston Consulting Group, BCG, Think City, and WWF-Malaysia. My name is Ain Zahra, and I'll be your MC for today. Although this is the first webinar, it is actually SEACAR's second installment in showcasing the chapters in our upcoming SEACAR Report 2.0. The first installment was last May at the ASEAN People's Forum, and you can find that session recorded on WWF's Malaysia's YouTube channel. So today we'll be continuing that conversation by spotlighting the power of nature, collaboration, and innovation in building a climate-resilient Southeast Asia. Here, the authors of SEACAR's upcoming second report will be sharing examples of nature-based solutions, community efforts, innovation, and technology-driven adaptation and resilience across the region. So a quick rundown of today's agenda is that we'll begin with an opening keynote, followed by the author's presentation. After that, we'll move into a Q&A session and wrap up with some closing remarks. So leading up to the Q&A session, feel free to drop your questions in the comments below for our presenters. And kindly identify yourself and mention which speaker or topic your question is directed to. So thank you all for being here. So let's get started. So now it is my honor to invite Ahila Ganesan.
Thank you, Ain.
Yeah,
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me, Ain?
Yes, all good. Go ahead, Ahila.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to open today's webinar on showcasing success stories in climate adaptation in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia at this moment is at a critical juncture. By 2050, up to 35% of our region's GDP could be at risk due to climate impacts. Half our population and more than 4,000 species will also be impacted. And with that, we have yet to scale to, despite the scale of the challenge, our collective preparedness remains far too low. This is precisely why the SEACAR Alliance was created. Launched in COP28 in 2023 by Boston Consulting Group, Think City, and WWF-Malaysia, the Alliance aims to drive bold, coordinated climate action across the region. Action rooted in the realities of cities and communities where the effects of climate change are felt most deeply. SEACAR's work centers on 6 pillars: natural ecosystems, infrastructure, agriculture, health, water, and trade. But today, we go beyond highlighting risks, we turn our attention to solutions. This year's report features 10 real-world initiatives that show how nature-based solutions and technology can be effectively applied to strengthen urban and community resilience. While 2 chapters provide a regional lens, the others zoom in on efforts in Southeast Asian countries, offering practical, replicable models of adaptation. Today, we spotlight 3 of these initiatives: a community-led climate program in Indonesia, a forest food model in Vietnam that ties food security to ecological health, and an urban biodiversity project reconnecting habitats in Tangerang Selatan. Together, these stories remind us that climate adaptation must be locally driven, but regionally supported. Let's now hear directly from the people behind these efforts, the authors and practitioners making change happen on the ground. We thank them for their contribution, and we look forward to learning more from them. Thank you. Back to you, Ain.
Right, thank you, Ahila, for setting the tone for what promises to be a meaningful session. With that, let us begin on our presentation session, where we'll hear directly from the voices behind the SEACAR's upcoming second report. We are also pleased to have Lavanya from WWF-Malaysia moderating the rest of the session.
Thank you. Thank you, Ain. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Ahila, for the wonderful opening remarks. Yeah. So this afternoon we will be hearing from three contributors to the SEACAR report. And without further ado, let me introduce you to the three of them. Just trying to get. So the first speaker will be Mr. Triyanto, who is the head of CSR Strategic Management, PT Astra International, TBK, who is the author of Chapter 4 of the forthcoming report, and it's entitled Astra Climate Village Program, Fostering Climate Action Through Community Development. The next one will be a presentation from Dr. Ngoc, who is the co-founder of ClimaLink Vietnam and a university professor from Thai Nguyen University of Agriculture and Forestry, TUAF. He contributes to Chapter 6 on nature-based solutions for food security and community resilience to climate change impacts. This will be a case study of food forests in Vietnam. And finally, last but not least, we'll have Ms. Risty Khoirunisa, and she is a PhD researcher at Monash University, Indonesia. She's the author of Chapter 9, entitled Connecting Urban Habitat in Tangerang Selatan, Indonesia to Conserve Biodiversity. Now, without further ado, let's begin with our first speaker. Please welcome Mr. Triyanto. Over to you, Mr. Triyanto.
Okay, thank you, Lasmi, for having me today. Maybe I would like share my screen first. So, but I cannot share. Maybe Zahra Ain can set me as a co-host, I think, because I cannot share my. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. It is. Okay. I start my presentation. Let me introduce myself. My name is Triyanto. I'm head of CSR Strategic Management, Astra International. So before I start my presentation about our practice community development, I would share about what is Astra is. So Astra is one of big company in Indonesia. So we was established on 1977. We have more than 300 companies under Astra Group, and we have 7 business lines. The biggest one is on automotive, and then we also have financial services, heavy equipment, agribusiness, infrastructure and logistics, IT, also properties. So as a big company, we have an aim to prosper with nation. We also have sustainability aspiration. We can mention on this slide 5 of 10 points of sustainable aspiration is how we can reduce greenhouse gases emission, and then how we can manage our energy management. Also, we try to reduce water withdrawal intensities. Also, we how we can manage our solid waste. And then the last one is community development program. So we want to reach 2.5 million people through our community development program. So this is kind of our CSR program. One of our CSR program, corporate social responsibility program, is developing village and that focus on climate action based on community empowerment. So in bahasa Indonesia, in Indonesian language, we call it Kampung Berseri Astra. Kampung, it's like a Malaysian language. Kampung means village. So we call it Astra Climate Village. So this program is kind of a community development which focus on climate adaptation and mitigation, spread all across Indonesia. So we start actually from 2013, I think, but now we have 118 Astra Climate Village in 34 provinces in Indonesia. And we are involving more than 2,000 people at that village. So the purposes of this program is, the first is increasing community resilience in facing climate variability and the impacts of climate change. And then we are measuring the potential of reducing GHG emission. Also, promotion of low carbon awareness and lifestyle on community. So to achieve these goals, Astra works together with the community to create like a community-based climate change adaptation and mitigation activities, including you can see like activation of waste bank to increase community capacity in waste management by encouraging the community to manage waste based on the 6 R's principle and utilize community-based bank to process the waste. And then also we do some tree planting as a carbon emission reduction. And then we also introducing to the community use renewable energy, especially solar PV usage. And then we also supporting the community to use alternative water resources like rainwater for watering their plants. So this is we call it Astra Climate Village, or in Indonesia, in Bahasa we call it Kampung Berseri Astra. We have more than 118 kampung all around Indonesia. So what we can see on the slide, this is how we make the Astra Climate Village and what's a role in every stakeholder that be involved in this program. We start with, we need to build a commitment with the community. So we have some collaboration with Ministry of Environment and state level government to find a potential village. And then the potential partner village are trained in climate resilience and then problem and potential mapping, and then how to they can plan the program, and then they find their own problem related with climate change and try to find the solution from their resources. And then after we build a commitment with the village, we build the local organization. So because this is the key, I think we have a lot of program, but we don't have any capable organization to run that program is impossible. So we also build a local organization and champion on that village. And then we also support them by providing mentors. We take from subject matter experts. We also provide various facilities needed for environment activities, for environment management in the community, such as plastic shredders, trash bins, composting machines for organic waste, and etc. So they can do their activities to support this program. After that, we do some capacity building to accelerate. So this stage is aimed to develop and strengthen the village with incentive mentoring, within a lot of series of training and activities, and help them and assist them when they find a lot of problem. They face a lot of problems. So we do some mentoring and acceleration program. And then in the last stage, to improve their awareness, we do some innovation awards This program, the aim of this program is to recognize and appreciate villages that have successfully implemented innovative initiative on their program. So we start with build commitment and end with reward with innovation. And then this is on the right side, we can see how the role of every stakeholder that we are involved. For Astra as a company, we are supporting financial assistance to develop the process. We also building Astra Climate Village ecosystem because we have a lot of foster village. So we make some ecosystem. We make some community. It's it's every village, and then we also doing some mentoring and upscaling community. Refers to what they need. And then the role of the local champion is how they can encourage and give a good example for the community member. Also, they are recording and reporting or the climate village program, the activities that they have done to Astra, and then the household, the community itself is doing mitigation and adaptation daily activities, and then finding ideas and innovation activities to increase the impact of the environment movement. So we can see this is the milestone. So we will start on 2013. We have been running since 2013 and continues to be developed to this year, 2025. And this is the direct impact of what we did. There are several achievements from Astra Climate Village program. First, in terms of waste management, we were able to process over 247 tons of plastic waste annually through numerous waste bank integrated in Astra Climate Village program. And on organic waste, we also manage more than 500 tons per year. It will be compost, like the composting organic waste produce fertilizer, for example. And then in terms of trees planting, a total we plant more than 400,000 trees have been planted in 210 hectares of green areas in the Astra village. In addition, we work with different partners, so to install 83 solar panels to renewable energy projects. And we were successful in encouraging the community to use air and water up to 150 meter cubic annually for alternative water sources. Some of a community used to watering their plants. So if we conclude, we can also we can reduce to more than 2,700 tons of CO2 equivalent. So I think this is the indirect impact of and challenge. So when this program has indirect impact, actually for ecological aspect, this program is maintaining the hydrological function of the area, and then it's more just a responsible ecosystem service use, and actually it's increasing better waste management in community level. On the last slide, we will show you all. And then for the socio-cultural impacts, it is make this program can raise community awareness of environment preservation effort. Furthermore, the community is becoming more adept at integrating low carbon technology into all aspects of daily life. But we got some challenge like community commitment and involvement for continuing adaptation and mitigation activities. Also, we have some lack of community leadership for local champion or community leaders. And then because the area is screening on many places in Indonesia, sometimes we have difficulties to do some monitoring and check the quality of data. So today we are trying to developing a software and that can get the data actually, so we can do some monitoring from Jakarta, from Astra headquarters. So this is I think this is the change, the behavior change that we can see before we do this program about the waste management. We can see that waste thrown carelessly polluting environment, and then after we do this program, the waste is taken to the waste bank and managed properly. The organic waste is processed into fertilizer, and then the plastic waste with economic value is chopped and sold the plastic factory as resources. And then waste with no economic values is processed into art item like a picture or some handicraft that made from plastic waste that doesn't have economic values. And then
Mr. Triyanto, we'll need
yeah.
to wrap up if you don't mind soon.
Sorry, Lasmi.
Sorry, we need to wrap up, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is I think this is the last
Okay.
slide. Okay. So about the rainwater treatment, before they don't use water plants. This community do not yet use rainwater to water plants, and then after we do some program, community makes biopores and rain reservoir, and then they use to watering their plants, and they can reduce their water usage. I think this is the last slide, Lasmi. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Triyanto. That was really inspiring to hear how the your corporation has joined forces with the community to come up with these really innovative approaches. Great to hear the success. And thanks also for being very frank in sharing, some of the challenges that you're also facing. Thank you.
Yeah.
So now, without further ado, I'd like to invite Dr. Ngoc Son, or Dr. Son, to please share with us your presentation and your work. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Son.
Thank you. Can you stop sharing, please? Yeah, well, good afternoon from Vietnam. So first of all, I would like to thank organizer WWF Think City for opportunity to share our work. So basically, it's a chapter 6. I and Dr. Tuân written is come from a project to promote nature-based solution for food security and climate change resilience in Vietnam. So the project is funded by APM, Asia Pacific Network for Global Change Research. So it's a 2-year research. So and it's not really a research, but a project. And we try to document the key lesson from project to into a chapter 6. So I would like to go an overview of the project and then leave time for questions. So basically, the north of Vietnam is a hilly mountainous region and it's vulnerable to climate change. And it's a home of multiple ethnic minority groups. So in north of Vietnam, we have about 30 ethnic groups living in northern Vietnam and mountainous area. So basically, that's one of the vulnerable area to climate change, in addition to food security. So we consider climate change, food security is one of the critical issues in northern Vietnam among ethnic people. That's why we think nature-based solution is a very good framework or concept to able to harmonize the impact of climate change, to improve the food security in the region. And we got funded from ASEAN, and this, I mean, it's small project. Anyway, we have resources to able to support communities, farmers, and students, and local officers to able to understand and to apply the concept of nature-based solution and practices. The main purpose or objective of project is to build capacity for farmers and managers in local authority, so they're able to adapt and able to apply the practice that we want them to adopt. Yeah, and in addition, we also look at other group like young scientists at the university, myself from Taiwan University. So we want to train, we want to develop capacity for the young researcher, scientists, and CSO staff working in the area. So together, we can bring change to the communities, because we think one group or only ourselves not able to create a lasting change. Instead, we think a combination of different groups, stakeholders, is very important. So we see the participant of different stakeholders very important. And then in the end, we try to integrate nature-based solution into university education and training, we call curriculum. So we ask the teacher, the lecturer, able to develop some component of nature-based solution in their curriculum, their courses, so they can teach to students, and then we can train the young future leader of nature-based solution in Vietnam. So that's basically the key objective of project. And after 2.5 years, we able to create a very, in our view, is very successful project. And ASEAN also appreciates the result of project with very limited funding. We're able to train farmers. We're able to develop the food forest. It's the main concept of the chapter. So the chapter 6 is about the food forest and as a nature-based solution. Yeah. So the food forest is a multi-layer ecosystem, and we name it very commonly in local language, like it's a forest but for food. Yeah, so we encourage the farmer growing a forest but for food. What we mean is it's an ecosystem that mimics the nature, very diverse ecosystem, but people can use for food. So in one small or large area, people can grow different species. The upper layer with different plant, the lower layer is another different root, different climbing plant, so they can use the resource effectively. As I mentioned earlier, we also train the students and staff in nature-based solution practice and concept, so they are able to apply it in their home garden, in the local authority, and also in their lectures. Yeah. And now 5 courses at our university integrate the nature-based principle, and the nature-based principle we follow the IUCN guidelines. So basically, that's a very popular, wide recognized principle. Of course, we also produce paper, policy brief, and report. Like we send you the chapter. In it, we also have others. Of course, we also focus on advocacy. I mean, we organize a workshop to advocate for integrate nature-based solution into the local socio-economic program. Still, still take time to make it a reality. But I mean, we do the first step to make nature-based solution recognized by local authority and officers. Some key result highlight from our project. So we pilot the food forest. So it's not new concept, but it's still new for local authority and officer. So we organize training, organize workshop to explain about what is a nature-based solution, what is about food forest, and how food forest as a nature-based solution. And we also train them in the field how to design the food forest, how to spacing the plant, how to grow different plant, different crops in the same plot. So the university staff have, and then our research so that the food forests have to reduce the crop loss during the drought. So in 2023, 2024, in northern Vietnam, we experience a severe drought, lack of water, and the food forest, the mixing of different plant and crop, has helped to reduce the crop loss about 20 to 30%, and by the same way can increase some crop yield about 20-25%. So that's a very good result and highly appreciated by the local authority. And of course, at the same time, because people grow different crops and plants, so they can diversify the income at different times, especially in one of our case study area, people doing agriculture tourism. It means they welcome the visitor to come to experience the farming practice and experience the farming. So the food forest become one of the story to tell to visitors from the cities about how people can grow a forest in the city. So the forest normally only in the mountain, in the rural area, but with the food forest, people can do it in the plain area in the city, because we can grow food forest anywhere. Another pilot we work with farmers and local authority is circular agriculture or vermicomposting under the food forest area. We also support the farmer to able to apply the circular agriculture. So a lot of agriculture waste can be used to raise the to do the vermicomposting, and then at the same time we can use the vermicast to feed the animal, to feed the chicken, and also to fertilize the crop at the same time. Key insight from our project. I think the food forest should be seen as a nature-based solution and could be scaled up where appropriate support. And the food forest could improve the resilience of the rural communities like in Vietnam. We can see it. People can have diversified of income. We can reduce the crop loss. We can increase the yield where we can have proper caring. And for the food forest, people can integrate the English knowledge and the science at the same time. And that's people can use different knowledge locally and then combine with scientific knowledge and can improve the resilience. And in our project, the youth and women engagement is very important. We mobilize the active participant of the youth and women, so they can own their initiative, they can own their ideas, and then of course help them to adapt to make them their own initiative. And we focus on policy and scaling up. And food forests are not yet mainstream yet because it takes some time. What I think it's not easy to mainstream the food forest because it's a new concept. So I think it's one of the challenges. Now we've been working on it, this one. And the last one is about learning. The food forest can be replicated with proper support, technically, financially, and I think that's the key insight from our project. I think I leave time for question. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Son. That was really amazing, the fascinating work, the fascinating concept that you've presented, the food forest, how it's got so many benefits, including even, raising yields and something that can be applied within the cities itself. We can bring the forests into the cities. Wonderful. Thanks so much. And next, we will hold your questions, and if you have questions, please do post them on the chat, and we will take it up shortly. But now let us invite Miss Risty to give her presentation. Miss Risty Khoirunisa, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Lasmi. Sorry, Lavanya. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Lavanya. Okay, I will share the screen and wait just a minute. Before that, I would like to thank you for the opportunity, and I hope everyone's had a good day. Just a minute. Yeah, I will share the screen. Okay. Okay. Can everyone see the screen? Oh, there
Yep,
is
it's
some.
clear. Yeah. Oh, there's some things that are blocked out.
Yeah. Okay.
Oops.
Wait.
Okay. Now they're slowly disappearing.
Yeah. Try to. Is there still? Wait.
Oops. There's some tech support we can provide, please.
Yeah, I think it's okay then. Okay, no, it's okay then. Is it okay for
No, unfortunately, the
no?
screen is showing with,
The black one? Yeah.
black thing.
Hmm.
Should we do the sharing from our side, do you think, Ain?
Yeah,
Yep,
Risty,
yep.
maybe I can share a presentation for you.
Thanks.
Wait a
Okay,
while.
thank you. Okay. All right, from me?
Can you try and make
Is
it
it-
full screen?
But if I make full screen, I think it will have some black screen.
It's okay. I'll share for you. Let me share for you. I have your presentation up.
Okay.
All right. Can you
Thank
see?
you,
Is that
Ain.
possible? All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just guide,
Thank you.
just guide me when it's like the next slide.
Okay, thank you. So everyone, let me introduce myself. So my name is Risty Khoirunisa and currently a PhD under Monash University, Indonesia. Also a researcher for the MAS, Enabling Multi-Species Justice Transitions project under Strategic Research Council of Finland. So this is the project about the connectivity. We try to find the connectivity within the green spaces in the cities and also in the regions using the geographic information system. Please next. Okay, so we have tried to do this research in Tangerang Selatan, the area of peri-urban area of Jakarta province. So why we choose Tangerang Selatan? It's because this area is a representation of urban growth, urban sprawl, urban expansions. And this is the area where located in the periphery near to the city centers of Jakarta, which population growth, land development, massive transformation, and also privatization happen. And this resulting a lot of transitions such as the habitat fragmentation that lead to the species decline, biodiversity loss, and also increase the vulnerability to flood, heat wave, urban heat island, and other climate change adaptation. And this is why we try to have this project. We try to see the connectivity within the green in the cities to emphasize the importance of the nature in the cities, not only for human but also for the animals, for the species that living in the cities. So we still could maintain and sustain the urban ecosystem services in the cities. Please next. We already identified several key issues. We have workshop, and from that workshop, we have these three, but other also important. But these key issues is because of the urbanization and also land development transformation. First is about habitat fragmentation. Since there's a lot of building and other infrastructure development, the habitat is become smaller and isolated. So the species cannot move to other patches, other habitat because of the barrier, the road, apartment, and other things that in the cities, and they could eventually die because they couldn't find food, water, or even reproduce. And green space decline because of all the development. It cut the green spaces, and it's already declining a lot because of privatization, and also apartment and other things that are currently undergoing in the cities. The policy integration gap, and this is in Indonesia and maybe also Southeast Asian, probably except Singapore. The current urban planning framework doesn't incorporate with the biodiversity consideration and also the connectivity analysis. So we try to highlight the gap and trying to have this research into the policy action later in the end of the projects. So the urban planning or urban zoning can interpret connectivity output as one of the consideration for creating the zoning to create a more urban biodiversity friendly environment. Next. And then the current adaptation effort can see, okay. The current adaptation effort, we have several efforts that already have been identified from the local government, green building certification, and urban parks. So this is renaturalization of the rivers, and then zoning regulation also. But this is for the human perspective. So it's like the urban park in Taman BSD 2. It's actually nice to see the jogging track alongside the river, but that's mean it's also cutting some trees along the river that has natural. I mean, they already naturally planted, but then it's all get down and being the concrete to create the jogging track for humans. And this is also creating some isolated patches because some area, even its park, even its other green spaces because it's in the private area. They have gated restriction. I mean, only the people that living there, like gated communities that can have this benefit. So yeah. And then zoning regulation, they already have this. In Indonesia, they have this regulation 30% of green spaces, 20% public, and 10% private. So this is why the private has to give the area of the greens because it's mandatory for government to give the permit for the building the private area. But then one of the considerations is also the access. And 20% of the public is also could not possible in the area of Jakarta and other area. So this is actually still lack of enforcement and also monitoring and also implementation. So in the document, it might be 20%, but in the real life, in the implementation, it's not 20%. So next. And from the workshop, we also try to identify what is the challenge to the biodiversity conservation in the cities. And most of the people agree that this is still lack of public awareness. Many residents are still unaware of the nature contribution to people and the importance of connected habitat. And the humans in the cities, they don't see the benefit of giving the connectivity or giving more green space to others species, for example, for the conservation area in the cities. Poor policy integration, so we don't have the urban planning that considered to biodiversity conservation in the cities. We do have some conservation area, but it's in rural, so it's not in the cities. Weak regulation enforcement, monitoring and implementation is hard to maintain. Next. And that's why we try to see the improvement that we can identify by having this connectivity analysis. After this, you will see the model. At first, it's reconnecting fragmented habitat by using the connectivity model to identify and prioritize critical area for conservation. And this is what the model will be used. We will see the model after this slide. And using the technology such as remote sensing and geographic information system to create evidence-based planning scenario for like future projection and real-time monitoring to evaluate intervention. So we can also see how the zoning of the green spaces and the existing of green spaces is actually being implemented, whether it's being implemented or not, we can try to see it from remote sensing and also geographical information system. Nature-based solution like green roof, urban forest, community garden, green corridor, green line, we can try to have this to string the urban resilience, especially like green corridor for alongside the road, and also engaging stakeholders, so not only governments, but also community involved, the NGO, and also private developer. Next. So this is the current model, but this only from the perspective of small mammal, small arboreal mammal, such as squirrel, sugar glider, so on. And we use the parameterization of the patch is 5 hectare, and then the dispersal distance is 250 meter. And we found some isolated patches in the eastern part of cities, and this is the area where it's border of Jakarta. So this is the border of Jakarta, and that's why this is the area that has more development and infrastructure and habitat. Patches get fragmented a lot here. That's why there are some isolated patches. So if the species there cannot move, the small mammal, because we're using the small mammal parameter here. The small mammal, if they already in that patches, the isolated one, they couldn't move to other area because it's too far, and then the patches cannot be found, so they only can move into that area. Well, the western part, there are a lot of connectivity, but this is only based on the green spaces. We didn't identify whether it's meadow, it's forest, it's park, or it's canopy, or it's lower canopy, it's over canopy, understory, or overstory. We only see the green spaces based on the remote sensing, based on the NDVI classification to see the greens, the high value of the greenness. And we found a lot of green spaces in the western part where a lot of private here. This is BSD cities. And also this is the area of riparians, Cisadane River. That's why it's there is a lot of green also, because usually in the riparians area we have a lot of vegetations. Next. This is another connectivity model using circuitscape. We identify the pinch point where the area is, there are a lot of congestion or traffic for the small mammal to move based on their resistance, also the barrier, highly constrained and the unconstrained. We can see the red one is critical because there will be a lot of small mammal, or this is using the small mammal parameter still. This is the red area is the one that are mostly can be used by the small mammal. That's why there are a lot of red here, because there are a lot of species, there are a lot of small mammal that use this, and this is the area that we identified as critical or likely to be conserved, or creating the corridor for them.
Ms. Risty, we have to wrap up.
Yep, I think this is the last one after this. Next. And so I think this is the last one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is the last one. So, or maybe there is another after this. We can do the action by raising the public awareness, integrate the urban planning to the ecological planning. So consider the biodiversity conservation in the cities, and also develop public-private partnership, also nature-based solutions such as green roof, urban forest, and other NBS. Next one. Okay. And this is the last, this is the conclusion, but we still in the early project, so we could still have another findings. But the rapid urban expansion from the core to the periphery is fragmenting critical green spaces, also threatening local biodiversity and ecosystem services, making the periphery area more prone to biodiversity loss. And we can prevent this by using the spatial model technique to identify the area which is conserve them, which is a good fit for conservations, and also for creating the corridor for the species to be moved freely in the cities. And then we can also strengthening the urban climate resilience by that. When we have more species in the cities, more biodiversity, and others green spaces, it will be good for the cities to sustain the urban ecosystem services and also strengthen the climate resilience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Risty, and a really fascinating account also on, I think, a problem that's not only, as you mentioned rightly, faced by Tangerang Selatan, but something that's faced in many of the cities of this region, perhaps globally as well. And it's good to see how you are, proactively tackling it with the modeling work and other recommendations. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but we'll just take one quick question for us to maybe, there's been a question posed to Ms. Triyanto.
Yeah.
So the question is this. So how do you count, the impact, right, that Astra is creating? And are the partners that you work with also calculating the same impact? So
Oh, yeah.
different people claiming the, credit for the same thing is, I think, the thrust of the question. You deal with it, please.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Hasmi?
Yes.
Because my software error. So
Yeah, we
I
can
think
hear you.
I can, but you can hear me, okay?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Thank you.
So in the first, we make a standard. So we actually the Ministry of Environment has a standard how to measure the impact of our program. So we define with our partners indicator that can be used to measure our impact. So we define, I think maybe 5, like a water, and then waste, and then electricity, and then trees. So at the first step, we define with our partners and Ministry of Environment, which indicator on a community development program. So after that, when we define, we socialize to our communities, and we assist them to get the data. So we don't work alone. We do with some NGOs in Indonesia. So they will be as a mentor for the community. So they assist the community to collect the data, and then reporting the data, and then entering on the platform. So we collect from community, and then we make some conclusion from the data. It's something like that, Rasmi. So I cannot hear you because I don't know. It's error
Sorry.
on my Zoom.
Thank you so much, Triyanto. Yeah, I think that makes sense that you have a database, a data platform that captures all of this.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm afraid we don't have time for any more questions. I think we had a really excellent discussion, and please do wait for the full report, because these great highlights are, better reflected also in more detail in the report itself, which will be coming out soon, I think in August. And but thank you so much. I will really found your sharings very informative and insightful and inspiring, so that we really have solutions that we can take and provide to our everyone who's interested in the space. Yeah. So with that, let me pass the floor back to Ain. Ain, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Lavanya. Okay, so thank you so much for everyone, and what an enriching conversation that we had. Thank you to our fellow speakers, our moderators, and also our participants for joining in. So to conclude this session, we now invite Dave from Boston Consulting Group, BCG, for the closing remarks.
Thank you, Ain. And I can only echo what Lavanya was sharing, that is really high impact case examples, grounded on practical solutions that were shared. They were very, very inspiring. Thank you to our distinguished panelists for sharing this, and thank you to everyone who has joined this important conversation on climate adaptation, resilience in Southeast Asia. We're certainly a region that feels the impact the most, one of the most exposed, that impacts us all personally and at a local level, and it's highly urgent action that we need. And it was very insightful to hear these examples that covered so many aspects of where we feel the climate impact. So at the community level, at Astra, and how partnerships work so effectively with the food forest in Vietnam, where not only is it with food security and building resilience, but also showcasing how better systems can be built in the future through these responses that we need to make to build resilience, and the great work on urban resilience that was shared, that protect vulnerable populations, really grounded on research and how science can inform action. And maybe just to bring it all together, these are 3 examples that were shared. The SEACAR report features many more case examples. There are themes around how adaptation and resilience impact multiple sectors, many systems, and how different solutions can help us build resilience. How local leadership matters. Progress starts with people that understand the local environment, are equipped to act, and how some of these examples enable these actions to be taken with local leadership. And finally, how nature and technology and AI and data are all complementary in building adaptation and resilience. And maybe just to conclude, and I recognize now we're over time, SEACAR was formed to advocate, enable sharing of good ideas, and contribute to mobilizing action. Now, in that spirit, the SEACAR partners, together with the Global Resilience Partnership, is launching a solution challenge for Southeast Asia. The focus of the solution challenge is to identify promising ideas that bring together nature, technology, and build resilience in the region, and have the potential to scale. More to be shared on the solution challenge, but the idea is to find these promising ideas and have access to resources that can help these ideas mature and develop and contribute to the adaptation resilience agenda for our region. So with that, I also like to conclude that by saying that really would like to invite partners and collaborators to reach out to us to work with us on this agenda, and specifically also on the solution challenge. And as I said, more to come on this. Thank you again for joining this session, and very much look forward to opportunities to team up and collaborate. Ain, back to you.
All right, thank you, Dave. So, yeah, I think that concludes our session. Thank you so much, once again, for being part of this important dialogue. Let's keep this conversation going and continue to champion adaptation, resilience, and collaboration across Southeast Asia. For the ones watching live, and also if it's a recording, if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact us. And also stay tuned for SEACAR's second report and the second part of the webinar, where we invite more authors from the SEACAR 2.0 report chapter. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.